James Kaufman, World News Report today. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had another very large earthquake, a magnitude 6.7 earthquake just off the coast of Japan, the same area that's been swarming now for 3 or 4 days. There's been numerous aftershocks, came in, they're saying, as a measly 4 on the DYFI, a 5 on the shake map, an associated tsunami warning at 10.7 kilometers of depth. Now, with that said, there's been a ton of aftershocks, and I'll tell you how many in just a moment. All right, first off, we're on a bunch of plate tectonic boundaries here. It's the North American plate that comes through here, the Pacific plate here, the Euro-Asia plate here, the Indonesian plate here. You can see that they all meet right there. There's a ton of pressure in this area. You can also see that there's several volcanoes that are either in minor or major eruption right here. So you can see there's a bunch of reasons that magma is moving and the plates are moving in this area. Get some detailed information. USGS being our primary source, a 6.7 magnitude earthquake, and it says a depth of 11 kilometers here. And when we look, we see Raspberry Shake coming in also at a 6.7, and the French come in at a 6.3. Let's get some detailed information about this quake and find out how many aftershocks really have occurred. All right, here we are. Very strong, magnitude 6.7 earthquake. About 3 hours ago, folks. You can see it's right where we've been swarming. They're considering this is a likely aftershock from the 7.6 earthquake on December 8th. Today is the 12th, so it's been a couple days. Here is a very good look at the quake itself. You can see that there's been very few reports because it's basically offshore here. Now, obviously, people onshore did feel this quake because it's a 6.7. Here they have it at 37 kilometers of depth. And again, this was about 3 hours ago. We are at volcanodiscovery.com. Nothing to play around with. Again, USGS, main source, nearest volcano, 96 miles away, although it looks much closer to me. Magnitude 6.7, 10.7 kilometers. 10.6 atomic bombs worth of energy released. Can we say, wow? Much, much stronger than I anticipated. 10.6 atomic bombs worth of energy released just for this one quake. We're about to find out how many aftershocks were associated, but it's been aftershocking since the 7.6, and really there was a pre-shock of a 6.6 before that. Now they have said that 2.2 to 3.2 million people most probably felt this earthquake. Most of them are just not in the reporting mood after experiencing so many aftershocks. Unbelievable. There's been so many earthquakes in the area, they don't even want to guess on how many aftershocks or pre-shocks we're talking about here. This is unbelievable action. Japan is rocking and rolling. I don't know if I've ever seen a swarm like this. And don't forget about that Russian peninsula over there. And just as an honorable mention, we have 2 New Madrid quakes, although small, still New Madrid quakes. Look at that swarm on top of this earthquake, which was indeed an aftershock from the 7.6. Comparing earthquake data from different reporting agencies, USGS 6.7 at 10.7 kilometers. It's an actual depth 6.6 miles, but of course we have Raspberry Shake coming in at 6.7 as well, much deeper, 37 kilometers. The French at 6.3. The French have this at a default depth of 10 kilometers, meaning that they could not determine with sufficient accuracy the depth of this quake. A 6.8 out of Germany. The Australians say 6.6. Germany says 40 kilometers. Australia says 24 kilometers. The International Research Institute on Seismology came in at 6.7. The Italians at a 6.7. 33 kilometers here. 10.7 kilometers from the Incorporated Research Institute for Seismology. And looks like the Russian geosciences are coming in at 6.6, 48 kilometers of depth. The Europeans coming in at 6.7. And Japan itself coming in at 6.7. So that pretty much sums that up. All right, we did have a tsunami warning with this, so I went ahead and checked the tsunami buoys all around the globe here, and nothing's going on in the immediate area or elsewhere over in the Pacific. So I think we're okay there. Just a warning, not even, something that was a few centimeters in height was generated. In summary, we have an ongoing swarm. It's been about 4 or 5 days of activity here just off the coast of Japan. This is near several plate tectonic boundaries. This is directly over 3 or 4 active volcanoes. And again, they're considering this 6.7 an aftershock from the 7.6 reported on the 8th, if y'all saw my report about the 7.6. With that said, there's been so many aftershocks in the last 24 hours. The USGS is only going to show y'all, the largest of the large, and you can see that it showed quite a few. These are 4.0s and larger, and they've got 6 of them here, but we're talking about hundreds of aftershocks. You can see the plate tectonic boundaries and all the volcanoes off the Pacific, the volcano ranges and ridges coming every which way but loose. Very, very dangerous situation going on, especially since the Japanese continue to build nuclear reactors on every coast that they can get their hands on. Very, very strange indeed. With that said, folks, be careful out there. I heard that we are actually creating underground nuclear facilities here in the U.S. I believe one of them's already started construction in Kansas. And I am so against nuclear facilities. I just can't stand up high enough to shout it from the mountaintops. Hopefully y'all realize that there's no reclamation once that facility has been built, no matter what occurs. So I am anti-nuclear energy, period. God bless. Please share, subscribe, and always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world.